Hello, I'm Jennifer from the Genuine Mom DIY and Craft blog. Today I'm going to show you how to make a rolled paper carnation, just like these. Aren't they pretty? It's amazing. These are made from cardstock and some marker and glue. And that's pretty much it. It's really cool. So, first you need to have some materials. So, this is what you need here. So, first thing that we need are some scissors or a way to cut out the pattern. I used a Cricut cutting machine. You can use whatever works for you. Some glue. I really like Aleene's tacky glue. You're also going to need a marker that complements your paper for your carnation. A quilling tool. Quilling tool has a slot at the end, just like this one here, that lets you put the tip of the paper in when you roll it. And you also need your pattern, of course, cut out. Oh wait, first, sorry, you need long nose pliers. I use these to ruffle the petals. And then, of course, you need your pattern. So this is the sepal that goes underneath the flower, the carnation, and this is the carnation pattern itself. So the first thing that we need to do is color the petals. And I'm using a pink marker, and I'm just sort of scribbling on them. And the idea is that I'm following the contour of the top of the petals as I marker these. It's nothing time consuming or artistic. I'm not going all the way up to the top, as you'll see. I'm just following the edge so that there's like a sort of a pink margin at the top, like a light pink margin at the top, and then there's the darker pink inside, and then inside that is of course the lighter pink inside. This is based on an actual carnation petals. This is where I got the idea from this. And when we're finished, of course, it looks like a carnation. That's what's so cool about it. So if you do one side, turn over, and you want to do the other side as well, because this is a 3D object and we're going to see both sides of these petals. Let's just go around. You don't have to take a long time to do this at all. It's pretty simple. If you accidentally, put marker somewhere else, hey, no big deal, right? That's what's the beauty of this particular project. I thought it was a lot of fun to do this personally, and I just sort of went through it. Although, of course, this is speeded up because you don't really need to watch me do all the markering, right? All right, so just about done here. All right, so now we need to make the petals look more like carnation petals. And if you look at a carnation, its petals are ruffled. So we're going to use these long nose pliers to ruffle the edges of our petals. And the way I do this is I pick up a petal, put my pliers on it, and I just start twisting them in the petal in opposite directions, folding them, almost curling them like you're curling hair. And because this is cardstock, it holds the shape pretty well. So I just go through and I do this with every petal, and it doesn't really take too long. I've sped this up here so you don't have to watch the whole thing again. But I think that it works really well for making it look more realistic. If you don't have long nose pliers like this, I'm sure you could wrap them around the end of a pencil or your scissors, or even just bend them with your fingers. The idea is to get the edge of the petal going in different directions, sort of like a zigzag shape. And again, after we roll up our flower, we're going to do a little bit more manipulation of the petals to get them to look even more ruffled. So if you don't get it perfect, no big deal, because we're going to fix this up afterwards. All right, so now it's time for us to roll up our carnation petals. You're going to use your quilling tool, and you're going to pick up the loose end of the carnation, just like I have it in this orientation here. Put the end of the petals on your quilling tool and start rolling it. You want to roll it towards you, and it's going to be a little bit tricky because you've already ruffled these feathers. You already ruffled the petals, right? There's going to be times it's not going to want to quite roll as smoothly, and you'll need to guide it a little bit. Maybe tuck in one of the petals has a mind of its own, whatever. But just keep at it. Keep going. Go slowly if you need to. And also, you want to try to keep the base of the wrapped paper, more or less in the same spot. It's going to want to move down on you because your petals have so much body right now because we've ruffled them. It's okay. It'll all work out. Just do your best to keep the base of the rolling in the same spot, like I'm doing here. This carnation worked out just fine. So you pull it off, And there's a carnation, right? Not perfect yet, but hey, we're getting there. So bend over that circle and put some glue on it. Not enough that when you then put it right on the base there, just like that. And then you're going to want to push down on the center of your petals to really make sure that it's making contact with the glue, and hold it there for a little bit. It needs time to set, and I find it works best if I just hold it in my hands for like a minute. And then you can set it down and move on to something else. You want to give the glue time to dry before you start manipulating the petals, which we'll do a little bit later. So once it's glued down enough, set it off to the side. And next you're going to want to get out your sepal, which is the little leaves that show up underneath the carnation. So we're going to actually quill this too with our quilling tool. And you put the end that you see here, not the one with the little flag things on it, on, and then you're going to roll it right up, just like this. Go right around, and it makes a cone for you, which is the shape that we see at the bottom of the carnation. And then you roll up the other strip, which got little tiny leaves on it that the carnation has. Pull off the quilling tool, and you can kind of sort of shape that. You want to open up a little bit more, and then it's going to, want to get to the right size, and then you're going to glue it. So you're going to put a strip of a line of glue right on the side there. And we're going to hold it nice and tight for a while so it sets. You're going to get glue on your fingers. I get a lot of glue on my fingers. And hey, some people like to use hot glue guns. Yeah, sometimes I like to use them, but most of the time I like just using regular old glue, because then I have more time to reposition, and I feel like I have more control then. So those little petals there, those are right underneath. Those are what we see in the carnation, and we're going to glue down that strip too with just a little dab of glue, and you need to find just the right spot that looks good and glue that down there. Yep, just like that. See, that looks like the bottom of a carnation, don't you think? You can just set that aside and let that dry. Alright, so now we need a stem for our carnation. I'm using stem wire from Joann's, so you can get this in lots of places. You're just going to want to put that right in the bottom of your sepal, fold over the top so it doesn't fall out, and then you can just slide it back down, and it'll sort of lodge right there at the base of the opening, and it won't come out. It works pretty well. Now let's make the petals even more ruffled. So right now it's not so bad, but we can do better. So what you'll find is a lot of the petals will just sort of like be really kind of stuck to each other. They're too like sandwiched together. We don't want that. We want them to be more defined from one another. So I just take my long nose pliers and I just go through and I curl the petals until it looks to me like a carnation. I mean, there's no science to it really. It's all based on aesthetics and what you like. And that's it, right? And it's that difficult, and thanks to the fact that it's cardstock, it'll keep its shape. And that makes it easy. I think this would be more difficult to do with something like crepe paper or tissue paper, because it's probably just going to want to go back to the shape that you had. But hey, I haven't tried that yet. I would love to know if anyone experiments with that and what your results are. So hey, that's a pretty good looking carnation, I think. What do you think? I like that. So let's put the stem on now. So we need some glue, and we're going to put the glue inside the sepal, the little cone shape at the base of the carnation. And I like to put a whole bunch of glue in there because more likely to contact with the flower. The flower doesn't have a really long base at the bottom, so plenty of glue will keep it there. So we just take the base of a carnation, set it right there in the sepal, and press down on the petals to keep it in place while the glue dries. Takes maybe a minute before it's in pretty good shape. And there we have it. And so here is our pretty carnation. Looks pretty nice, I think. I think it looks pretty good for a paper flower. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more awesome craft videos, and check out my latest video over here. I'm always making new videos and I'd love to have you watch. Oh, and don't forget, come on over to my blog at genuinemom.com. I have lots of awesome crafting tutorials over there. Thank you.